Relax. Okay. Yeah, do you want a voice level? Hello, welcome along to the home game here today at the North Ipswich Reserve. It is the mighty Savage Pest Control Ipswich Jets take on the Townsville
That was
Blackhawks.
pretty good.
Now you do your talk.
Yeah, I'll go with mine. Sorry, Josh.
Josh.
Yeah. So in Jersey 1 today, we've got Jaden Adams Memorial
Speak
Foundation,
louder,
Jaden Connors.
Louder. Really talk
Louder?
loud.
Yep.
Loud and forceful, so you're out there. You've got to make it.
All right. Jersey 2 is University of Southern Queensland, Rogan Dean. Jersey 3 is the Q Team Realty, Benny White. Jersey 4, West Ipswich Post Office, Shah Walden.
Yeah. Probably just say, yeah, you're really going to force your voice out. When you say, just say like in number 3, sponsored by Q Team Realty, Benny White, just say sponsored every now and then.
Yeah.
Or players partner, not sponsored.
Players partner.
Yeah, players partner. But you'll be right. Hello, welcome along to North Ipswich Reserve here this afternoon on a nice, I suppose a bit steamy or a bit warm Saturday afternoon here. It is round 1 of the Intra Super Cup. We're pretty excited at the moment. We've had a couple of early games. It's been one apiece, so one to the Blackhawks and one to us. But I want to introduce a new caller we've got today. Of course, he's played 75 games. And he actually gave up last year, retired from because he decided he wanted to do this and have a little bit more fun.
Jacko.
So 10 tries, debuted in 2014 against the Tweed. But please welcome Josh Seeds. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm very good, Jacko. Very excited to be here and glad to be not off the field finally and behind the mic and hopefully staying away from those big boys.
It.
Oh, definitely. I didn't miss the preseason, but Now the first rounds here, I'm got a little bit of itchy feet, but I'm sure the boys don't need me today. So
that's the way to go. Okay, we're going to get into it pretty quickly. So if you want to run through the Jets.
Yeah, this is how the Jets line up today. In Jersey 1, player partnership by Jaden Adams Memorial Foundation is Jaden Connors. Jersey 2, University of Southern Queensland, Rogan Dean. 3, we have Q Team Realty, Benny White. Jersey 4 is sponsored by West Ipswich Post Office, Shah Walden. Number 5, playing his 50th Intrust Super Cup game today is Richie Pandia, and that's the QCM group. Jersey 5. Jersey 6, Llewellyn Motors, Joshua Cleland. Jersey 7, in the Fusion Graphics and Signs jersey, Julian Christian. Jersey 8, sponsored by Hairport Umanto, is Tyson Lofapo. Jersey 9, the Andrew McClure Mechanical jersey is Kieran Mosley. 10, our captain, Nat Neal, and that's sponsored by Savco. In 11, we've got Tyler Coburn making his debut, the son of former Ipswich Jet legend, Danny Coburn, and that's sponsored by F45 Ipswich Central. Stybros and Sons Electrical have partnered with Rory Humphries today in Jersey 12. 13, the ACS Group, Blake Lenahan. Wearing Jersey 19 today, which is partnered with Raptor Residential and Commercial Cleaning, is Mitch Carpenter. In 15, we've got the Hello World, Baval and Redbank Plains, Peter Gubb. 16, Easy Plumbing and Gas, also making his debut, is Keenan Yorston. And in the 17, Cal Fresh, Timote Pasica. Jacko.
Okay, lining up for Townsville this afternoon. The Blackhawks in jersey number 1, ex-Jets player Carlin Anderson. But I have heard he may be going into the wing. Centre?
There is some talk of that.
No worries. In jersey number 2, Khalifa Faifai Loa. Number 3 is Ton Opacek. He's a late inclusion. Number 4 is Dejan Assi. Number 5, Murray Taliga. Number 6 is Kyle Labutt. Number 7, Jalen Feeney, also the captain this afternoon. Joe Boyce in number 8. Number 9 is Josh Chudley. Number 22 in the position number 10, so he's one of the props, Sione Luisi. Jake Marchetto, number 11. In number 12, also beside him in the second row, Timone Power, and of course locking in there is Tom Gilbert. On the bench for the Blackhawks is number 18, Josh Hoffman, a late inclusion as well, replacing Chris Freeman. Also number 15, Tom Hancock. Number 16 is Moses Meninga. And no doubt he's related in there somewhere to the big Mal. And, of course, number 17 is Kieran Quabba. So, great lineup of teams. At the moment, we're pretty average. We've in the last 5 games, Jets have been up 3-2.
Yep.
But when you look at the averages, there's only 1 point in the averages of the scoreline.
Yeah, it's always a close contest with Townsville, and it doesn't seem to mean the home field advantage seems to have much of an effect. I know we've beat them up there a few times. They've beat us down here, but the big important one was obviously the 2015 Grand Final, and we were lucky enough to get over them.
And I suppose one of the big inclusions is in jersey number 11 is Tyler Coburn, of course, son of just a pure Jets legend in Danny Coburn. Yeah. Danny was played us for quite a long time, and he's really passed his talent down. Of course, Danny's still involved with the club, but Tyler gets his debut today.
That's right. And as we kick off here, it'll be the Jets running towards the northern end, the Canberra end, and Julian takes it away and gives it off to Rogan Dean, who takes one of his many hit-ups today. The first hit-up for the Ipswich Jets in 2020 gets the boys just past the 20-metre line. As Shah jumps out from tackle 2, he runs across field and has trademark sideway running before cutting into the line. He's wrapped up by a few eager Townsville defenders. There's Richie. Very unlike most teams, but in the first set, yet to see a forward actually have a touch of the football there. And Richie gets us out to 40 with 3 tackles gone. Here's Tyson, one of the Jets legends, played over, I think, 150, close to 200 games. Now he's chasing those 200 games this year, returning from an injury that he sustained last year. Only got a few games under his belt last year, but I'm sure he's looking for a big 2020 campaign. And on the 5th tackle goes to Cleland. He puts up a nice bomb to test out Carlin at the back. He's a little bit shaky under the high ball, we know that, but he takes that one comfortably and almost breaks a tackle. A good opening set there by the Jets. Now they just need to aim up in defence.
I suppose one thing you've got to remember, Carlin did play for us, but there's not too many players left in our side that would have played with Carlin, so he's not going to know what we're like.
No, there's back from when Carlin played, and the last time Carlin played was the 2015-16 season.
Ago, yeah.
There's not too many Jets still hanging around. as the Blackhawks take it past the 50 and get into the Jets territory for the first. They spread the ball left. It goes through Feeney onto Marketo, who's chopped down, and a great tackle there by Cleland. That's tackle 5. They go down the blind side. A little dink kick over the top, but Tricky, a.k.a. Jaden Connors, is there. Throws a nice left foot step and handles it well. And it seems at the moment both teams are just going back and forth football. They're happy just to get to their kick on fifth tackle and stay away from those errors early on this season.
Yeah, no, look, both teams in the opening minutes have really sort of showed that they're both here to play football, and it's going to be in the end who tires first.
Yeah, exactly. And I think from those, as we spoke earlier about those games that always seem to come down to the last couple of plays or only a few points, the boys have realised they need to be here for 80 minutes. There's not going to be one in the first few sets. As Blake Lenehan takes a great charge to get us about 35 out. That is the fifth tackle, though, so it goes back to Cleland, who kicks down the right-hand side, trying to get it past Clee for 5 lower there. But the ex-NRL player takes it on the full, comes out. It is met wonderfully there by, I believe that's Richie Pandy out there on the right wing. A great tackle. And that's something Richie is known by. As tackle 2, the Blackhawks make it out to about their 30. Tyson and Nat there doing the damage in the middle. There's Coburn with a great hit. That's what you want to see from a young boy on debut. They go back left through Joe Boyce, ex-Broncos and I believe Cowboys player, who's wrapped up again just past the 50. It goes to Sione Lassie. He drops under Kyle Laybert. It goes back the other way, dropping Kyle in, looking to get some tired markers, but it's a little bit early, I believe, to be doing that. And on the fifth tackle, Townsville will be kicking from inside the Jets 40. It goes high again. Jaden's there. He's got time. And jumps and takes it comfortably.
But he's getting forced backward.
I think they'll give Jaden a lot as the first penalty.
Yeah,
I think
got a penalty out of it.
As I was just saying, I think they'll give Jaden a lot of, confidence in his ability. He's taken 2 bombs now, although he does seem to have stayed down after that last tackle.
Just going back to Tyler Coburn, he's really he's just come into this game with a lot of confidence. It would have been interesting to see what encouragement his dad gave him, and of course his dad presented him the jersey in the sheds earlier. So, but Tyler, he's not perturbed by being in the Cup squad.
No, not at all. He's done a few years in the Colts now, and he's definitely put on some weight and size over the off season. So I think he's ready to come up, play with these boys, and obviously the Townsville team, which is I'm yet to find any players in the team that hasn't at least been signed by an NRL team at one point, and a lot of them have played NRL. As Cleland goes across field looking for a runner, he throws an out ball to Julian Christian, who calls Tyler under, who makes about 15 metres there with his first carry, and he's going to be very happy with that. Kieran Mosley into dummy half. He looks down the blind, jumps out, gives it to Blake Lenehan. You can't miss Blake with that horrible mullet he's currently sporting.
You mean there's another Peter Gubb style out there?
Yeah, no. Gubby's hair is luscious. That one's a little bit different. As Rory Humphries brings it back to the middle. That'll be tackle 3, I believe, and the Jets are 25 out. Hope they can put some kind of attacking kick in here towards the end of the set. They go back right. Tyson with his trademark right foot step. It goes through. Knocked down there by Sione Lassie, I believe. Should be a knock on. What's the referee looking at here? It's called knock on against the Jets. A bit unlucky there, I believe, but...
Well, it's taken the pressure off the Blackhawks because we're starting to look a little bit dangerous. So I'm going to say it's only 10 out, and we're starting to really put a few things together. But look,
it was a great set.
Yeah, the Blackhawks, as we just said a few minutes ago, they're very even, and it was where the Blackhawks were under pressure, and they sort of held it.
Exactly, and Tyson did his trademark right foot step, got his nose through, and looked to get the arm free, which he normally does. And unfortunately just found, I believe, a Blackhawks hand before it could get there to Kieran Mosley.
Yeah.
Now what the Blackhawks are, and what they've always been, usually a very big team across the park. Yep. They try and power through teams. Just try and throw flat balls, running straight over the top of the Jets. Hopefully though, because they are a bit bigger, after a little while, they'll get a little bit tired and we can go from there.
Well, they're on the 40-metre mark.
That's 3 out. And Chudley jumps from dummy half, and that's a bit of a trademark of Josh Chudley.
Yeah, he's a bit of a danger man. He's been our statistician, Michael Nunn, named quite a few of their players as danger men. Josh Chudley, Tom Gilbert, and Timoni Power.
Yeah.
So they're the guys that we've got to watch.
Chudley, I know, was contracted with the Cowboys the other year, and unfortunately he tore his ACL. We played against him many times for the Mackay Cutters. He is still a young kid and he can really play some football. As the Jets gave away their first penalty of the year there. Townsville found touch 35 out, and they give it to Joe Boyce. Takes a tackle and finds the two Jets front rowers in the middle of the field. As they come back right through Sione Lousy, who runs into Big Tyson, with Tyler Coburn cutting his legs out from underneath him. 10 out.
Two big men, Sione Lucy and Lofapo.
Jalen Phillies takes a left foot step, goes straight through, but thankfully Nat Neal is there to cover him up with Jaden Connors over the top. It goes short ball there. Chudley gets the ball back. Benny White tip on, but it goes straight to Richie. They had us there. There was definitely about a 4-on-2, I believe. Thankfully the boys got up in the line, and as it went quick hands, it's found its way to Richie Pandia rather than their winger in Khalifa Fai Lower.
Now that Kieran's taken over, is there going to be too many changes the way the game is played? Like the way the Jets have always played? Will he continue in that style or will he change it?
Yeah, I believe I've been around training a little bit and I haven't seen too much of a change. Now, what a lot of people think the Walker game is the boys running sideways and doing all that. The main thing the Walkers built their style of football on was competing.
Yep.
Everything we do, we compete, and I think that's what Kieran's going to do, the exact same thing. Yep. We're still going to see people dropping under, looking for those tired forwards, and we're still going to make everything in competition, whether it's a short kickoff, a chip and chase, but I'm sure he'll put his own little touch on the game as well. As Cleveland chips over on the fifth tackle, Carlin cleans it up 20 out from his own line. He looks to link up with someone, gets away from Cleveland there. He shifts the ball out there to, I believe that is Murray Tuolangi, who gets the ball 25 out from his line on tackle 1, and they come down the right-hand side here. It's about 9 minutes, 10 minutes of the game, Jacko, especially that first game where you start to blow a little bit. You're blowing the cobwebs out, but you remember why football is maybe not the easiest game to play.
No.
As Chudley jumps out of dummy half again, finds Joe Boyce, who's got through a lot of work so far. He bumps away from a tackle from Kieran Mosley. That's wrapped up over that right side by Rory and Joshy Cleland. They look to go left again. It comes back right. They find Tom Gilbert. Now, Tom Gilbert, with a great offload there to Timon Power, he goes quick hands straight through. Oh, Rogan Dean with a great shot over the top. A try-saving tackle, and not only a tackle, it's a great hit. They kick through. Tricky's back there. It looks like it's going to be too big, and it is.
Too big.
Great defence there, Rogan Dean. They definitely had a shot to the right-hand side, and he came off his wing and gave his entire 100-kilo body straight over the top of their boy.
Well, that's good defence from the Jets. So, as we'd... and someone's horn's going off over there. But great defence, and we needed to do that, and it all came back to where it first started over on that left-hand side with Pandia, and eventually they got the ball back in that penalty. And
exactly right. And as we were just talking about, Rogan Dean, who never shirks away from work, first he saves the try by putting on that great hit. He then takes the tap off the 20, earns his side a penalty, They're looking around to see who's going to kick for touch here, and the ball always finds Josh's hand, although he's not too happy about it. It's good back and forth so far. I think we're in for a really interesting game here. And I know the boys in the middle...
He's made some good meters in that kick.
Yeah, got us up to... They're attacking the line 40 out. So that's a whole set again in Blackhawks territory. Hope the boys can have another chance like they had last time as Tyson takes it up and hopefully get the first points of the season.
It'd be nice for Tyson to come back. He's been playing with us for... this is his 14th year that he's been playing with us, and I can remember him coming on board as a Colt. And he's done such a great job, as he mentioned earlier, out last year, or most of last year, with leg injury. So
no, and he's looking fit this year, which is good to see. As Kieran Mosley dances across left side, he looks for someone to drop under, gives an outball to Shah Walden, who skips through, but is wrapped up only 5 metres out from the line. The Jets are working something out to the right-hand edge here. It goes from Mosley across to Connors. Christian ball on the ground, but Rory seems to pick it up. A bouncing ball is always dangerous, but thankfully we clean that one up. As Cleveland jumps into dummy half. Gives the ball away to Julian. He drops big Nat Neal under, who bounces off a tackle there by Jalen Feeney. Keeps going, gets the offload away from Benny White. He's got a great right flick pass, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that today to send Richie Pandy over in the corner. As the ball comes back to Cleveland on fifth tackle. He rounds. He looks around, gets the ball back right. Rory puts a kick in, but it looks like it's going to be too heavy, or is it? It's too big. It's too big. It's going to be a 7-tackle set as Cullen runs it back out to the 20.
Yeah, look, that was pretty good work for the Jets. They need to pressure Townsville, and they're doing that. They got up then in the ground, and they really hammered them, and that could a little bit too deep, and of course it went out in dead in goal. So we're back into play on the halfway mark.
Oh, nice tackle there underneath by Coburn on Tom Gilbert. Now, I was trying to say earlier, Tom Gilbert, I believe, is only 19, 20 years old. I remember last year he played against us in round one. He ran over the top of me a number of times. After the game, I thought, who's this kid? And turns out he was only 18 or 19 years old now. I don't think he's going to be playing Intrust Super Cup for too much longer. I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing for North Queensland within the coming months. And I can see him playing even at a higher level above that.
Yeah.
As the referee calls a penalty for stripping there, which I think is a little bit hard done by. There was a ball in the hand, but it seemed like Sione Lousy lost it when he was trying to offload it. But here the Blackhawks go.
And unfortunately, we don't have the players' challenge or the captain's challenge.
It hasn't been doing too well in the NRL
No,
so
it
far.
hasn't.
So I think there's only about one team that's done it well.
I think that was Canberra. Or
I know the Warriors got it done today. The Warriors have one captain's challenge work, though they actually succeeded, but they're yet to win a premiership, so it doesn't seem to link up too well with that. As Townsville will go on the attack here, only 5 metres out from the Jets line.
So this is where the defence of the Jets needs to come into play. They need to muscle up here.
The ball goes back to the man I was talking about earlier, big Tom Gilbert, who's taken over the top by Tyson. They try and slow the play the ball down. Chudley goes left, finds Jalen Finley. That's a knock on surely. Benny White jumps on it anyway. A big let off there by the Jets. And at the moment, I'm just thinking, I don't know whether Townsville are trying to do too much with it or they just seem a little bit lost. But very lucky to get away with that one, the Ipswich Jets. As Richie is held in the middle of the park on tackle 2. Oh. A bit of a juggle there by Gunsdean.
You're feeling these tackles, aren't you?
I'm glad I'm not out there, that's for sure.
I see you're wincing every time there's a tackle.
There's another great one. They're picking them up. They're aiming up in defence here. Ball in hand, they haven't been great yet, but they're definitely showing they're willing with their defence. As the Jets continue to pepper this left-hand side. Fifth tackle, we're only 35 out again. They're going to go to Cleland, who's hopefully going to put a little chip down the middle. They've got Tricky chasing. There's a few Blackhawks players around. Cullen gets there. Throws away Tricky the first attempt. And is jumped on and over the top again. As another penalty goes against the Ipswich Jets.
Something we didn't really need. And so that's probably one of the things they've got to start looking at. This is where we can not lose a game, but just not look convincing when there's so many tries. Just for silly niggly little things.
Yeah, I completely agree. And as a player, you get extremely frustrated when you're in an arm wrestle, you give away a cheap penalty, and then again...
And the more frustrated you are, the more you give away.
Exactly, and I can guarantee you I've given away plenty in my day.
You wouldn't if you're a little angel.
As they go to the middle, Gilbert takes another hit up. Tackle one, lined up left and right. Looks like they're coming back right to Joe Boyce, who's just going to march him up the field. Gets an offload away there. Let's play on. Gilbert gets the ball back. Oh, Tyler Coburn's down. It does not look in a good way at the moment. I believe he's copped a hip when he's gone in for a low tackle there. The Blackhawks play on though, and it goes through Boyce on the right-hand side. He gets another offload away. Goes out to the left. It finds Kyle Laybutt. He puts an early kick through. Richie's got to get back there, and he does. He gets hit though over the top. And the referee's given us the penalty, I believe.
Penalty, but Tyler's still down just midfield here on the 30-metre mark. I think you're right. I think he did cop that. He's copped a head knock.
They're calling for the HIA here. And it happens, and I know, unfortunately, I've had it happen to me far too many times in rugby league. You're going for that low tackle. They've changed the direction late, and you either cop a hip or an elbow to the head.
In the wrong spot.
And it's all over good night. So Tyler's going to come from the field here. He was looking really good in his first 20 minutes in
I'm
first grade rugby league.
He's got a good future in front of him.
As the Jets look to bring on number 19, Mitch Carpenter, the big red dragon.
Big Mitch.
There'll be a bit of a reshuffle here, but I believe he might just go a straight swap to left second row.
So he's off. They're just waiting for Mitchie to get on. So he's on the field now.
And all the boys, I'm sure, are enjoying this rest right now. It's been a good opening 15, 20 minutes.
Well, it has. It's been full on.
Yeah.
There's been no let off.
A lot of back and forth. Yet to see any points. As the crowd claps off young Tyler Coburn. The Jets find touch of a penalty, which I believe was for offside of that kick. Benny White takes a tap, throws the ball inside to Cleland, who just tips on to a spinning Mitch Carpenter. He gets the boys out over the 30-metre line. And pass. He keeps driving those legs. A lot of PCMs, post-contact meters there. As Tyson takes another hit up. Bumps away Joe Boyce. But Timon Powell and Sione Laus to get him to the ground and try and work him over.
Sione's doing a lot of work in the middle there.
He is. Hopefully he's tiring and we can exploit that very soon. As Nat gets dropped under by Julian there. Makes it up over 50.
He's got to be
and leaves the defender on the ground.
He's got to be tired from all that hair.
Yeah, it does look heavy. As Julian gets back to the middle there, he's dancing across field, looks at Cleland come under. He then drops Rory under, who parts straight through the middle. Gets the Jets within 30 metres of the line. I think that's tackle 4. Kieran jumps out again. Blake Lenehan a short line. Ooh, gets an offload away. Great pick up by Cleland. It goes right. Tricky's got a right foot, a left foot. He's coming back looking for a long ball. Drops the ball under. He's looking for someone to pass to now. And he's still dancing along, Jaden Connors. Nat puts his hand up and drops under and takes the ball straight up the middle. That's something Nat's great at. When it starts to go a little bit too left and right, he knows one way.
He's been good out there today.
Cleland on fit tackle, puts a little grubber through. It's cleaned up by Carl, and he pops out the other side. He breaks away from one tackle, but thankfully he's jumped on by Jaden Connors. A great clean up there by Carl, and as much as I hate to be positive about the Blackhawks, he's done very well there.
He has done exceptionally well. Their defence is pretty good down that end too. I mean, so the Jets are only 10 metres, or probably 15 metres out. But they're holding the Jets out, and that's all that the Blackhawks need to do.
Exactly. As we come down, third tackle, Charlie tips onto Jalen Feeney, who doesn't mind a run. He finds Khalif 5 low in the middle, who tries to power over the Jets' big men, but he's not getting away with that.
Another penalty.
Another penalty, and Julian lets the referee know.
Well, he's called time off. He's
calling out Kieran here, and I believe it was for a cannonball tackle, they call it, which is diving in below the knee, trying to wrap up the legs, trying to bring him to the ground. And if anyone knows Kieran Mosley, and I know Kieran actually is good friends with Cleve 5 lower, there was no malice or anything in that. I think it was just he stepped away at the wrong time and he got him a little bit low.
Yeah, well, the referee's put on report, so let's hope he's cleared and gets to play round 2.
Round 2, which I know the boys have a few away games coming up. I don't know whether the first one might be in Rockhampton, the next one's in Mackay or vice versa, but I'm sure the boys will enjoy those away trips like we always do.
And sad to say, with everything that's happening in Australia at the moment, that I'm led to believe those games will be played spectator-free.
Yeah, if they're played at all.
If they're played at all. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, I think it'll be a little bit strange playing in front of no one. It's more of a training session when you've got no one around apart from your coaches. And the referee will definitely be able to hear you if you say anything to him then. So make sure the boys keep their mouths shut. As the ball comes in, it's tapped there by Toalangi. He gets the ball off. That's Moses Meninga with his first touch. The former PNG Hunter. I believe he captained the Hunters the other year. He's now coming off the bench for the Blackhawks. 13, Tommy Gilbert keeps those legs pumping. The Jets are a little bit short out there to the right-hand side. It looks like the Blackhawks going to go back left, though. Jalen Feeney tips onto Joe Boyce, who almost gets through. Had Moses Meninga pushing up outside him, drawing defenders. There's a drop ball in there. And once again, the referee blows a penalty against Ipswich.
Where is the captain's challenge? That would have had to been just a drop ball, but...
And that's the good thing about the Jets. Would use it well, so we'd continue to use it.
Yeah.
Townsville attacking here, and they find Moses Meninga on tackle 1, only 5 metres out. Now, the Jets can only hold on for so long. It's been a lot of defence on their own try line here. Let's see if they can do one more time. Chudley to the right, goes to Laybut. He finds Timon Power on a little out ball. He gets the ball back to Laybut. There's a bit of a gap there. He finds Joe Boyce going through the middle. He's held up there by Tyson, and it's a great hold.
Great hold.
He was over
Great
the
work.
line, and Tyson has absolutely muscled him to hold him up off scoring the first try of the Intra Super Cup this year. So the ball goes out to Tom Upperchick. He puts a little grubber through for himself. He might have been impeded there a little bit. Tricky thumbs it coming out. The ball's still alive. What are they going to call here? Knock on against the Jets. It'll be a scrum to the Townsville Blackhawks.
And I suppose one thing we haven't spoken on, because we sort of got into the game pretty quick, but we've got a reasonable sort of crowd here this afternoon, and obviously Townsville, it's a fair way away, so there'll be a lot of, I suppose, local fans that like the Townsville side, but it's mostly a lot of Jets fans. And you can tell by the clapping before that they are appreciating this good football.
No, it does seem like there's a few fans here as the ball comes out to the lay butt on the right-hand side. He throws an outball to
good
Carlin, who gets absolutely monstered there by Rogan Dean again. Rogan's got an attitude on him today, and he's looking to hit some people, so stay out of his way. As they get taken 10 metres out, tackle 2. They go to the left, dropping Meninga under. He goes out wide, Jalen Feeney, that's a knock-on. Pick the ball up and start running, son. Rory Humphries cleans up the crumbs. And we finally get a penalty ourselves. Great defence there by the Jets. They've repaid here with the penalty to Rory Humphries, I believe, for Townsville getting a little bit too aggressive there in the tackle.
Yeah, they had a man down too just behind play, but he was there. We got the penalty, so there was no real gain out of it. But no, it's a pretty vicious game when you look at it.
They're definitely getting some contact on each other. Now back to Rogan Dean's great tackle there, or off the scrum.
Yeah.
When you shoot out like that, it's going to be end two ways. It's going to be a great tackle, or it's going to end in 4 points for the other team. Thankfully today, Rogan's done it twice, and he's done it twice very well. As Carpo there gets us back out of the 50 on tackle 1. Still 0-0 here, which is a little bit surprising.
And I suppose the really good thing, there's only a couple of new players this year. Most of the team played, when I say most of the team, 15 out of the 17 played together last year, so they know how each other works.
And to add to that, Coburn, he obviously knew what we were doing. He was playing Colts, which play a very similar style to us. As Peter Gubb gets his first carry for the 2020 season, he dances across field, hair flowing in the wind. He finds Cal Laybert, who picks him up and drops him.
Taken up heavy.
He picked the wrong person there, Gubby. But there's one thing about Peter. He's offside, sir. Surely. Oh, he's called play on. It's going to be 6 to go.
Yep.
Gubby does not mind a bit of contact. You can pick him up and drop him on his head 10 times, and you're going to keep going. As Julian plays it there, there'll be tackle 0. He gets the ball to Mitch Carpenter, who goes to the middle, dances around a little bit, looks for the offload. It falls out somehow, and the ball goes straight back to Townsville. A big let off there for Townsville, and it's a play there by the Jets, which they could take back. Only tackle 1. You're in the you're in the opposition's 30, and the ball coughs up. But we go back to the players. Feeney gets the ball early out to Tom Upperchick. He's
lost the ball.
Hit over the top by Benny White. Cleveland picks it up. He's dancing across. He looks for a runner. And again, Nat Neal charging up the middle. Great tackle over the top there by Benny White, and Richie coming in as well. You can't dance with the ball out too far like that. You try and bounce on the outside of him, he's just going to knock you over. As Richie bounces away from Tom Gilbert and is held in a dominant tackle, 30 out from the Townsville line. A big dummy there by Kieran Mosley, who finds Mitch Carpenter, who decides to tuck it under the wing this time. And Big Mitchie keeps pumping those legs, getting those PCMs up. We held 18 out. Tricky jumps out from the line. He's just running himself there. The ball comes out, back to Kieran. He's barely walking. It goes back to the middle of Nat. Nat tries to run over the top of a few of the... We're looking out to the left and right. I believe the ball's going to go right. They go to Julian on the left-hand side here. Little dink grubber through. It's been touched by the Blackhawks. And then it was hit by an offside player. You could see he didn't want to touch the ball there. He knew he was offside. But once the Jets went to pick the ball up, he had to kick it away.
Yeah. No, look, I think Jets are doing well at the moment. To me, Townsville are applying the pressure, but they get a little bit flustered under defence.
They do. Are we looking at 2 points? Here we are.
Yeah, 2 points.
So Kieran's seen enough. He wants to get on the scoreboard.
Yep.
And it'll be Josh Cleland looking to get the first 2 points of the Intra Super Cup season for the Ipswich Jets. And I believe the entire competition, as this was the first game of the year kicking off.
Look, really, it's all about heading down the centre with a lot of just like one-up play, but every now and then you get that side-to-side play, and you get Nate Neal taking it up, and Rogan and Big and Mitchy Carpenter, they're doing the work to get the ball forward, which is what they've done. And as I mentioned, like just a few times under defence, the Cowboys, well, they come from the same town.
They do. And there's a lot of
The
Cowboys in
Blackhawks, they're just looking a little flustered when the Jets are really onto them. So here goes the kick.
Let's move right to left and go straight over. Great kick by Cleveland. I spoke to Joshy Cleveland earlier today, and he was a little bit worried about having to take over the kicking duty now that Marmon's gone and Michael Purcell have left. But that one, 5 metres in from the sideline, no problems at all. So that's a good sign for the Jets.
So 14 minutes out, we're up by 2 points. That's a little breathing space.
It is.
It's only a little though. So we've got a long way to go. We've got 14 minutes left in this half. We've got to make sure we either go in at 2-zip or a little bit higher.
And the thing that the Jets have to do is they don't have to force anything here. What they're doing so far is working for them. They're currently leading, even if it is only 2-0. They just keep going through what they're doing, hold the ball, wait until Townsville either make a mistake or get frustrated and give away a penalty, and we'll hopefully make them pay for it.
Of course, that kick was by Josh Cleveland, who's partnered by Llewellyn Motors.
There's another penalty to the Jets, which is exactly what we were talking about. They just need to keep frustrating the big Townsville Blackhawks boys. Hopefully get those penalties and we can march upfield. As Cleveland looks to find touch towards the grandstand side and gains about 30 metres for his team there.
Now, while this breaks on, we mentioned Llewellyn Motors. We've got a car to give away throughout the season, so somebody is going to go away at the end of the season with a car. For more details, you can go to www.ipswichjets.com to get your entry online.
Nice little step there by Richie Pandia, and he gets tackled by his countryman in... Oh, gets the offload away. No, the referees had already called held. Unlucky there. Richie's very good at giving the ball away very late, as he was wrapped up there by Moses Meninga. Moser goes left to Julian Christian. He runs a little play there called the slider, where we drive one person out, drop another one under, and of course it's Nat coming under. He gets the ball away to Tricky, but it seems like he knocked the ball onto a Townsville defender, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's only tackle 3. It's a bit early, and that's what we're saying. The Jets, as much as we love the attacking style, and obviously you got to make some chances, those little errors. If we can get those little errors out, we're a very, very good team. So
at the moment, with 12 on the clock left in this half, we've got to, the scoreboard for the Savage Pest Control Ipswich Jets is 2-0. We need to keep it there.
That's exactly right. If not, I'm happy to get some more points for us as well, Jacob. But we need to keep that 0 on the Blackhawk side as the Jets give away a penalty.
Yeah.
And once again, the referee's calling time off to call out Josh Cleveland and looks to put him on report. While we got this break, the new assistant coach, which is obviously Mark Bishop, who was doing this role last year. He's coached Colts, premiership-winning BRL team at the Ipswich Jets, and now assistant coach for the main Intrust Super Cup team. We'd just like to say hello to his good friend, ex-Ipswichian, who's supposedly up in Townsville now watching it and still an avid Ipswich Jet fan, and that's Brian Perry. So Brian, if you're watching, Bisho said g'day, and he hopes you're well, mate. As Richie takes Moses Meninga in a great tackle. Townsville come right, short ball there to Power, and that's their play. He's wrapped up though, great tackle by Nat, that's tackle 3. They come back down the blind side. Kyle Labert's wrapped up by Shah. And Julian Christian throws his boot into about row 5. Mitch Carpenter over the top, looking to steal the ball one-on-one. That's going to be fit tackle in the middle of the park, only 5 minutes out. It goes left. It goes to Feeney. He feeds the ball on. It goes straight to the ground. Upper checks with the ball, but he's wrapped up over the top by both Humphreys and Cleland. And once again, the Blackhawks are going to be asking what their plan is close to the line, because they have no idea, as Kyle Labert puts his boot back on in back play. Gubby with the hit up. That one went a little bit better than his first one.
See, they peppered the line, but they were just not with it.
They're not offering much.
No.
It's a lot of one out, trying to overpower our boys. And the Jets this off season have had a really big off season. Actually, they've got a new strength coach in, Jonathan Dorr made, and Johnny Dorr's got him in the gym. The boys are saying they're stronger than they've ever been. They're fitter than they have been in a lot of seasons, and so far, to be honest, Jacko, it looks like it's paying off. That extra work in the gym. As Blake throws an offload off as he starts to work backwards, it's touched by a Blackhawks fan, but they didn't realise that, and Tricky's put a kick over on tackle 0. He jumps on power, and Carlin didn't like that. He took exception to that and runs in. Doesn't do much about it. He's slow to get up there, Big Timone.
I'm sure he'll get payback.
Oh, and then some, I'm sure. As Dejan Arce takes the ball up the middle, 50 out. Chudley goes for a little screwed out dummy half. Finds Murray Tuolangi. Who takes takes Townsville within 40 off the Jets line. Goes left to Meninga. He tucks under the arm and again runs straight into his countryman Richie Pandia, who meets him and cuts his legs out from underneath him. They go left. Chudley, quick ball to Feeney. He's got runners inside and out. Goes to Carlin. He runs a little bit sideways, dances through. Wrapped up over the top, thankfully, by Benny White. Tackle 5. They are looking dangerous now. Goes back down the blind side. I can't see too much there. The ball's on the ground, and the Jets end up with it. Once again.
Just couldn't convert that into a point-scoring situation.
Gubby puts his hand up, takes a tough carry, coming away from his own line. Under 10 minutes to go now in the first half. Now, the Jets have only made the 2 interchanges. Obviously, Tyler Coburn came off with that head knock, and Tyson Lofapol was on the bench as well. Gubby goes for another run. Head jolting back and his hair goes flying everywhere, but he makes another 12 metres for his team. Benny White's decided to put his hand up as well and goes for a nice little screwed out dummy half. That's 5th tackle and the Jets are 40 out. They need a big long kick on this one. And we can regroup. As Josh Cleland puts a great kick in, finds the ground, it dribbles into the corner. They're going to be played out there
back
by Murray Tuolangi, who's coming right back to the middle of the field. There's a great line of Jets defence there to meet him.
I was about to say, a great line of defence there. There's a heap of guys.
That's what happens when you take me out. There's at least one more person pushing up because I did not chase any kicks unless I kicked him myself. On tackle 2, Cleef far lower gets up to play the ball. Gets the ball to Jake Marquetto, who's been very quiet so far. Yet to see much of him. He dives for a penalty but doesn't get it. Khalifa puts his hand up again as he bounces away from a tackle from Richie. Throws away Kieran Mosley, throws away Richie again. Comes right, keeps coming right. Got numbers, drops under Murray. He's got the ball in one hand. They're looking a little bit Jets football at the moment, running sideways, not knowing what to do with it.
They seem to be copying what the Jets can do, and yeah, it was working for them.
Yeah, exactly. And there's, I believe, who's that? In 14. So 14, we've got a Townsville player. Yet to see who that is yet, but we'll work on that soon. It might be Tom Hancock. He's come off the bench early. And I believe that is young Tom Hancock, that's correct. As the Jets get a 7 tackle set here. This will only be tackle 1, and Gubby's going to get us up towards the halfway line. Julian's in at dummy half, and he gives the ball to Shah Warden. Shah, the superstar, gets out to about the 45 and gets a great facial by Mose Meninga, pushing his face right into the dirt. Nat puts his hand up for another hit up. He's looking to get the arm free to offload the ball. Julian wants the ball left. He's barking orders. Kieran goes right. He pushes away from an offside defender. Keeps skipping across, looking for someone to drop under. Here comes Rory. He's going to dance across field as well. He's going to keep dancing. And he goes, puts his head down, goes straight in the middle. The forwards are starting to look tired. Ball comes left. Julian wraps around, puts a little kick through. Shah's blocked coming through. But the Blackhawks have to run it dead, and that's going to be a repeat set.
Yeah,
it's a good finish.
With a goal line dropout. So that's, look, great work there. I mean, to me, you know, at that time, Townsville picked it up a bit, and they were strong with their defence and sort of, yeah, in the end
they're doing a bit. That's for sure. One of the strengths of Julian Christian's game is his short kicking game. It's close to the line. Those little dink grubbers in behind. Hopefully, the Jets can build some pressure here. Find a mistake out of the Blackhawks or do something special. Oh, Mitch didn't want to catch that one, so it's been left to Rogan Dean. He gets it from his own 40. Starts pumping those big legs. Dances across field and runs straight in the middle. Makes an easy 20 metres and gets us back into Townsville side of play. As Kieran goes right to Blake Lanahan. Boys decide to aim up on him. and I'm not surprised with a haircut like that. We've got Jugs coming back to the middle. That's Kieran Mosley, if we're not sure. Nicknamed Jugs. Gives the ball to Richie. He's dancing around. Gets us into the 20-metre line. Kieran jumps out. No one's really pushing up with him, though. He gets the ball away to Julian. He runs Nat underneath. He's still looking for someone to come under. Rogan gets the ball, coming back under, but he's cut in a ball-and-all tackle there by the 17, which is Kieran Quabba. The ball goes right to Cleland. It finds him. It's good hands. He gets the ball out to Benny White. He's going to bounce on the outside. He cuts back under. Wrapped up by Jalen Feeney. Fifth tackle. The Jets have options. It goes to Cleland. He grabs through the middle. Someone's chasing through. Who's there? What are they called here?
No. He scored a try.
And they're giving the first try to...
He's looking. He's given it. First try.
Jaden Connors. Jaden Connors in Jersey 1, which is the player partner with the Jaden Adams Memorial Foundation. I'm sure Tricky will be happy about that.
That was great work.
It was a little, I said, that grabber game, especially fifth tackle, a grabber back towards the post.
Yep.
The Jets are pushing through in the middle. Carlin wasn't quick enough to get on it, and Jaden, he was more than competitive or more than eager to jump on the loose ball and get the first try for the Ipswich Jets in 2020.
Yeah, no, that was great work, and like we're only 5 minutes from half time. We're going to go in at least 8 up.
Hey, did you see last year when Percy missed that one in front? Don't jinx us just
yeah,
yet.
Okay. I'm not going to say too much.
But we got Josh Cleland in there now, so hopefully it's going to be 8 points.
Yeah, but no, look, great work, and you know, I was a little bit worried at the start because they both seemed to be level pegging, and then for a while there, when we were defending our line, Townsville just didn't seem consistent enough to attack, and we just gave away some silly, hand the ball across, and that was it. But no, we've held it together the last 5 minutes, and really, while we're seeing the fruit of the labour of the boys at the moment with this conversion, hopefully Touchwood maybe. Look at that, straight through the middle.
No problems at all. No problems at all. We didn't put the mocker on him. And the Jets are going to lead 8-0 with 4 minutes to go in this first game of the Intrust Super Cup. And new coach Kieran must be very happy with what's going on at the moment.
Oh, look, he'd be ecstatic, and it's a good confidence booster for him. I'm going to say he's the 10th coach that the Jets have had. First game today, 10th coach, and the 115th Intrust Super Cup coach. So there's been a lot of coaches throughout the years of the history since 96.
Well, hopefully he's one of the more successful ones.
Yeah.
As the Townsville Blackhawks get us back underway, Julian takes it on the full. He looks for his man Rogan Dean, but he's not there, so he gives it to Nat Neal this time, who dances back to the middle. Big welcome and big hope you're well to Nat's family, the Neal family over in Wapu in New Zealand. They usually watch it. Nat said to say hello and make sure we gave you a little shout out. So good evening over there to the Neal family in Wapu, watching the Jets do a lot of good work at the moment. As Shah's driven in the ground, 30 out on tackle 3, coming out of the line after scoring that last try to Jaden Connors.
So this is good with a couple of minutes out, 2 to go, well 3 I should say, 3.
Richie Pandia hit. So I believe the change has been when Tyson Loffapol came off, Peter Gubb's gone on, he's gone to the right wing, they've moved Richie into the middle, and I think Richie's gone into a kind of a lock role there. As Cleveland puts a big bomb through there, I believe.
Oh, he's let it bounce.
It looks like it's
too
been
far.
held up. Julian's going through, but Julian's a long way offside, I believe, so he's given up.
Oh,
as Richie cuts him in half, and a great tackle, and that might have hurt Cullen there. Definitely winded him. Murray Talangi takes it out, 30 out. Wrapped up. This will most likely be the Townsville's last set, or at least one of their last 2 sets with the ball this half. They come back right. A lot of their work's being done through the backs now as their big forwards are just looking to get to half-time, get the oranges, get the water into them, and rest up. As Cleve Fi lower puts his hand up for a carry. Little scoot through the middle. Blake Lenahan's looking for a one-on-one strip. But Kieran gets involved and they're held. That's tackle 4. They're already inside the Jets 30. Worrying signs here for the Jets. They need to hold on here for 2 more minutes. Tackle 5. It's going to be an attacking kick coming from 20 out from the Jets line. It goes left. It goes to Marchetto. The second row decides to put a kick through. Tricky gets the ball. Finds the ground. And he's been dragged back in. But surely, a little bit unlucky there, I believe, the Ipswich Jets. Jaden Connors hit the ground. Had someone put pressure on him. And then they decided to pick him and drag him back up and in goal. So the Jets going to have to do one more big defensive effort before they get into the sheds for half-time.
So we need the kick to be very long.
Do you think they're going short or long here?
I'll pick long.
It's their first dropout of the year. They're looking long. They're calling long. Let's see what he can do. Jaden Connors about to kick the ball.
You know all the signals.
Goes long, straight down the middle. Bounced on the 40. As Jalen Feeney gets the ball to Moses Meninga. Who bounces, sends Richie flying as he gets the ball back to the 30-metre line.
They're only going to hold out for 40, 50 seconds.
Oh, Richie makes up for it there by cutting Kieran Quabber in half. The ball comes right, goes to Laybutt. Out ball to Timon Power. That's not his game. He likes a short, cutting unders line run.
30 seconds to go.
Matt Neal, they leave a defender on the thing. They come back right. Shah get up. He moves up. He gets thrown away a little bit, but does what he has to do to stop the try. This will be tackle 4. 1 metre off the line. Chudley dummy half. Throws a long ball. Laybutt drops 2 under. Fakes it. Goes out to Feeney. He throws out the back to Carlin. They're sweeping here. They're sweeping here. Gubby shoots and kills someone. He'd already dropped the ball here. What's the referee going to call? He calls a penalty, I believe, for a shoulder charge against Peter Gubb. Now, the ball had gone out to Tom Opacek. He dropped the ball just as it came to him. Gubby obviously couldn't pull out from the tackle, but the referee's saying that he tucked his shoulder there. And because he obviously wants a lot of people on report today, Peter Gubb will be the 3rd Ipswich Jet player to go on report. He's going to need some more paper, the amount of things he's writing out here. So that's half-time. Although the Blackhawks will have a penalty, so I'm assuming they're going to go for the 2 here. The kick will be about 5 to 10 in from the left-hand touchline, and it's definitely not an easy kick. They're taking the time. I believe that's Carlin going to be taking the 2 here. Half-time, it's going to be Jets 8-0 or Jets 8-2. Or, by some miracle, if it hits the post or doesn't go dead and someone continues to play footy, maybe we'll have some more points. But Carlin sets up. He's a right foot kicker, so this would be his preferred side.
This will be interesting.
He goes back, takes a few steps in. Kick is up. Kick looks good, and there goes the flags. Unfortunate there for the Jets, but still a very good half.
Yeah. So, at half-time, 8-2, they'll go into the sheds. What do you think they'll pick up out of this?
They should be very confident in everything they're doing. They're defending the big Townsville forwards with, I'd say, ease or very close to ease. Attacking-wise, they can do a little bit, like a little fix up 1 or 2 things, but they're making meters at the field. They cut back on some of those penalties. I think they should be very, very confident going in that second half. Yeah.
No, look, both teams started really good. I was impressed with the Jets' effort, considering game number 1, and same with the Blackhawks. Yeah. Blackhawks got a little bit, I suppose, bamboozled when they were trying to attack the Jets line, but credit to the Jets, they held them out, and we had quite a few sets down there. But, of course, and then getting up this end, we got the 2 points, and then that great try by Rogan. And so, yeah, it's, you know, we've come back.
The only time I believe Blackhawks are looking particularly dangerous is when they get those quick play the ball. They get the quick play the ball, they leave a defender on the ground, Josh Charlie jumps out, engages a few defender, and then hits one of their big forwards on a 1-on-1 tackle. Yeah. If we can negate that, get numbers in the tackle, really win the ruck, we should have no problems going in the second half. Yeah. And, I don't know, I'm quietly confident. Confident.
That's good.
The boys just need to continue that on.
Yeah.
A lot of interchanges still to go. They shouldn't be tied in the second half, so we'll see what happens.
Once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us direct from North Ipswich Reserve. The Savage Pest Control Ipswich Jets take on the Townsville Blackhawks. And, of course, we do have to thank the Phoenix Media crew. You'll be able to watch this on Phoenix Media's YouTube page. It's powered, or Phoenix Media Hub is powered by USQ, the University of Southern Queensland. And over to our right, we've got literally a crew of a cast of thousands. I say it every time, but there's quite a few there. So we will be back in a couple of minutes for the second half of this game here at the North Ipswich Reserve.
So welcome back here to the home of the Ipswich Jets, the Savage Pest Control Ipswich Jets, as they play the Townsville Blackhawks. We're back for the second half here, and unfortunately I've lost my comrade, my number 2 guy, Jacko. He's had to go off and deal with some other things, so you're just going to have to hear this annoying voice for the rest of the game. Now it'll be the Jets kicking off here, going left to right, up 8-2. Hopefully the boys can continue to go along with it. It'll be the first kickoff we've seen from the Ipswich Jets this year. We'll see if under Kieran Lander they've changed it to being a short kick or anything like that. So for the next 40 minutes, hopefully it's all Jets football. See a few more tries, see a few more entertaining things coming away from some of our boys, and the Jets can get away with the first win of the year. Now, if you missed a bit of the start, unfortunately Tyler Coburn had to go off with a head injury. He copped a hip, making a low tackle there. Tyson Lofapo is on the bench with Keenan Yorston, who's still in number 16, which is partnered by the Easy Plumbing and Gas. And we're yet to see Timo Pasika in 17, the Cal Fresh number 17 jersey there. I'm sure it won't be too long till we see those boys injected in the game. The Jets still have at least 6 interchanges, maybe 8 interchanges left. As for the Blackhawks, I'm not too sure. We haven't kept up to date with them. As the referees join us for the second half, and we look to get this one started. The way the Townsville is set up, it looks like the Jets will be going a short bouncing kick, right side, going closest to us, and see if Townsville are up to keep the ball in the field of play. Hopefully the Jets can get the ball back. Perfect. A short goes through. That's cleaned up there by the number 3, Tom Obachek. As he cuts, ball goes to Cleve 5 lower, and he gets the Blackhawks back out of the 50, only on tackle 2 here of the second half. Played back to Chudley, finds Tom Hancock, who's leveled there by Richie Pandia, and Kieran Mosey decides to come over the top and just push him to get his tackle count up 1 more. Kyle Abbott takes the ball to the line, is tackled only very slowly there by Nat Neal. Chudley jumps out of dummy half again, looks for a scoot. Dummy's left, dummy's right, but is wrapped up by Richie Pandia. That's tackle 5. The Blackhawks will be kicking from within the Jets' 30-metre line. Little dink over the top. It goes through. Gubby's there. Needs to get out of his in goal there. But the referee said he's been held up in goal. And a great start for the second half. From in goal to give Townsville a great attacking opportunity here early on in the second half. Down 8-2 currently. Once again, will we shoot the short or long one? I wouldn't be surprised if we see a short one here. Jaden Connors has got the ball and he's using up every second of that time. He goes short. It's going to land 20 metres out. Rory Humphries getting through on it. Opchuk has no problems handling it though. And he's going to get the Blackhawks set started within 15 minutes of the line. Goes right. Wrapped up underneath the post there. They're a little bit short to the left there, and that's exactly where the Blackhawks go. They find Big Moses Meninga, who just runs over the top. Jaden Connors is underneath the ball, though. And they've called a penalty to the Ipswich Jets. The best possible outcome there. A penalty to the Ipswich Jets, as they say, one of the Blackhawks players held or obstructed one of the Jets players from making that defensive effort. And Jaden Connors very slowly gets up off the canvas. He did do a great one-on-one ball and all tackle there on a much bigger Moses Meninga to save the try anyway. But thankfully, the Jets were rewarded with a penalty. Shah Walden's got the ball there. Takes a tap, double tap for some reason. Scoots across field. Looking for a run to come underneath. He's going to throw a right foot step and gets driven back by 3 defenders. And the Jets are going to have to start this set from back on their 10-metre line. Kieran Mosey drops Rory Humphries under. He dances across field before going forward and goes straight through the middle. He's looking for runners left and right. He is quicking back himself here. He throws the offload back there. Who jumps on that first? Nat Neal jumps on it. Still a great run there by Rory Humphries. Gets the Jets up to just shy of the 50-metre line. The ball goes to Richard Pania. Throws out a couple would-be palms before he's wrapped up. A great run by Rory there, and he is quick. Unfortunately, he didn't have support left or right. Julian Christian was arguing that he was held back. As Mitchie looks for a little Offload there. He's got the arm free, but the boys are telling him to hold it. Take the tackle and we'll go on the next play. That's tackle 4. And the Jets earn another penalty. Jalen Feeney couldn't get himself out of the play there. And going from down the other end where the Jets were defending their lives, 1 minute into the second half, they've gone penalty, break down the field, another penalty, and they get a full set of 6 inside the Townsville Blackhawks 20-metre line here. Benny White throws the ball left. Once again, Kieran's got the ball. He drops under Richard Pandia, who steps back right and is wrapped up in the middle of the field. Tackle 1. Goes right left, comes back to Blake Lanahan, who just charges forward. That's tackle 2. They're already 10 metres out from the line. Kieran goes right, gives a quick ball to Cleland, who just holds the ball and runs himself. He's chopped up low there by Jalen Feeney. Benny White goes in to service it from dummy half. Penalty again to the Jets. Although Benny White did dive over there, big dummy, and dove under the arms of the Townsville defenders. The referee's blown a penalty for the Jets for, I believe, pushing or pulling Cleland there after he'd played the ball. 3 penalties in a row, the Jets. We can't complain about the penalty count tonight. Jorgs is looking for runners. He throws a long ball out to Julian Christian. He skips outside. He gives an out ball to Shah, but he's wrapped up straight away there by Dejon Assi. It comes back blind. They give it to Rogan, who cuts back into the middle. There's not much going on down the blind side. Tackle 2, still only 10 out. They shape out to the right. Mosley drops under Nat Neal. He goes forward and hard. Tackle 3, the Jets haven't thrown too much at him yet this set. Comes out right to Christian. He throws a right foot step. Another one. He goes back to where the play the ball was. They're short of numbers. He drops under Shah Walden, who starts to come across field. He looks for Blake. He goes through himself. Still, tackle 4. Another penalty. Another penalty against the Blackhawks. And surely this is a warning, if not a sin bin, because that's far too many penalties in this red zone in the first 5 minutes of the second half. The reason the Blackhawks are giving away these penalties is really trying to slow the play the ball down. You slow the play the ball down, you get your defense set right, and then you can go from there. Unfortunately, for the Jets' sake, they continue to slow the ball down, the Blackhawks that is, and they're really stifling our attack. We can't get it flowing, we can't get those quick play the balls to let our speedy small boys jump out from dummy half, and they've been penalised for that. The Jets have elected to go for the 2 here, with Cleland shaping up, only probably 2 metres to the right of the uprights, to take his tally to 6 points for the year. This will be 2 penalties and a conversion if he can knock this one over. Takes a deep breath. Rocks back, steps in, and kicks it as easy as you like. That's really good resilience there by the Jets, I thought. They started the second half, short kickoff didn't go their way, they give away a penalty. They had then a repeat set against them. They defended their line for 2 sets. 2 minutes after that, they're back down the Blackhawks line. The only reason they're not scoring is because the Blackhawks continue to give penalties away, slowing it down. It means the Jets now are going to go up 10-2. And give us that 8-point buffer again, which I'm sure Coach Kieran Lander, is very, very happy about. As Carlin kicks the ball long. Cleland takes it, and he gives it to big Mitchie Carpenter, who's going to run up, throw some footwork, but he's met there in a great head-on tackle by Joe Boyce. So the Blackhawks have gone back to some of their starting pack now. Peter Gubb puts his hand up for a tough carry to get the boys out past the 20-metre line on tackle 2. Here's Richie, who so far played 50 minutes, and probably 20 of that on the wing, and he's come in and gone 30 in the middle since then, which is what the Jets used to do back in the 2015 season. Use that with Kurt Catewell. Used to come off the wing about 20 minutes in, would then go to back row or in the middle. And since then, he's gone on to greater things. So, Kurt, if you're out there watching, we miss you, mate. Hopefully see you around the Jets soon enough after NRL's done. As Cleland runs through, quick hands. Tricky, unfortunately, drops the ball. Play on, though. And the Blackhawks have come back at him. No, the referee's called it. He stopped it now. Cleland's still down, though, and clutching at that knee. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. I know he has had problems with it in the past, and thankfully we've got a wonderful staff here, including Dino and Gabby and everyone else who are trying to look after our boys and keep them on the paddock. Cleveland seems to be okay, and it's going to be tackle 0 or tackle 1 for the Blackhawks, 40 out from their own line. There's the 17, Kieran Koa, taking a tough carry up the middle. He's met over the top, though, by Nat and Kieran Mosley, who really slow it down. Kyle Labat throws an out ball there to Murray Tuolangi, who bounced out to the right, but is cut down by Shah Walden. Labat finds big Tom Gilbert, who's back on the field, who gets the Blackhawks within 20 metres with a few sets to go. Oh, great tackle on the inside there by Richie Pandia. And Tricky's played on, he's bouncing through, and he's looked to pass. It's been touched by Blackhawks players. That's still going to be play on. And Benny White throws some footwork on and gets wrapped up 30 out from his own line. Cleveland quick play the ball, goes straight to Rory. Rory's going straight and hard, and he's pumping those legs. He gets the boys within the 50-metre line. Rory's had a couple of really good runs to start the second half. Cleveland tips on to Nat. That's going to charge the ball up. A lot of end-to-end football to start this second half. Very exciting stuff, and hopefully it just continues to lean our way. Mitchie Carps breaks out to the right-hand side. Benny White looks to offload the ball, but is held up just inside the touch line there. Gubby's holding him in. Gubby will throw it pass back to Julian Christian. He throws a long pass to Cleland. He throws a long pass to Kieran Mosley. He looks for someone to drop under him. Shah Walden comes back across field, looking for a tied defender. Almost pokes his head through. That's tackle 4. Quick play, the ball goes to Julian Christian. He puts a grabber through. Not many chases coming through. Cullen's called it. And is monstered there, or fallen on, sorry. 10 metres out from his own line. Offload. A nice late offload there. Leaves 2 defenders on the ground. Carlin takes it. He's wrapped up, though. Murray Tuolangi's putting his hand up. Comes in for another tough carry. Chadley jumps from dummy half. Tips the ball on. Blackhawks find themselves 40 out. 4 tackles gone. Chadley goes back. Feeney from inside his own 40. He's looking for that 40-20. But Jaden Connors, he got to it on the full. He's then, unfortunately, coughed the ball up and then kicked the ball about 40 metres after that. So it's going to be not ideal for the Jets here, although Townsville didn't find the 40-20, thanks to a very uncommon mistake by a man at the back in the Jaden Adams Memorial number 1 jersey. Townsville are going to find themselves with the ball, only 15 out, and a set attacking on the Ipswich line. It's going to be fed by Laybart. They shift out to the left-hand side here. Feeney, he's got some fake under, throws an out ball straight to Tom Opacek. He's coming up against Ben White. Ben White's going to throw him into the sideline. He gets a floating pass back inside, though. Cliff Lower is then thrown out into the sideline. So it's great defence by the Jets. The crowd really pays them up for that one. That was Benny White and Peter Gubb doing exactly what they needed to do there. They gave him the outside, let him go, let him go. Benny then throws Opacek into the sideline. He throws the ball back into Lower. They hold him up and throw him. So, again, a bit of silly football there by the Townsville Blackhawks, but it's great defence by Ipswich. And I can see coming to the sideline now is my man number 17, Timo Pasika, who's going to come in, and I can guarantee you for the next 10 to 15 minutes is going to be absolutely nailing people in defence and running harder than anyone else on the field. As it looks like Blake Lenahan's going to get his first break for the game, which is a really big effort for Blake. In only his second season in Trust Super Cup, he's just notched out a very good 50 minutes of football. As Shah's driven back here. That's tackle 2, and the Jets are only 5 metres off their line. Richie gets another few metres for the boys, but they're still very deep in their own half. Late in this tackle count. He's offside, so they're all offside, and the crowd are agreeing with me here, but it's not coming. Rory throws an offload there. Kieran Mosley picks it up. He gives the ball to Nat. Nat continues to pump his way to the 30-metre line. It's tackle 4. Timo with his first carry in 2020. He's a strong man this one. Finds his front, gets us out to the 40. That'll be fit tackle. Goes to Cleland. They're starting to put pressure on him as he puts a big torp straight at the middle of the field. Blackhawks don't want to take on the full, but thankfully they get a kind bounce as Rogan runs through and hits him again. Nothing wrong with that, sir. Although the 5's taken a disliking to it. We'll stay with the play here. As Khalif Faifaloa flows out the win. He gets an offload there to 17. Who's wrapped up by 3 defenders. Sorry, there's a bit going on there with players pushing and shoving in the background, and a great run by Faifaloa across the field. Laybut wrapped up 20 metres out. That'll be tackle 3. Lined up out here to the left-hand side. Feeney wants the ball and he gets it. He drops under big Tom Gilbert. Runs over the top of Richie, but is taken over the top by Mitch Carpenter and Kieran Mosley. They go right, goes to Laybut. He puts a little grubber through for himself. Tricky gets there, and he's going to be held in goal, which is not too bad of a result really for the Jets. They're going to be happy with that. As we see Josh Cleland trying to stretch out some cramps in his calves in the background. The Jets are going to take all the time they need here to really regather themselves behind the line and hopefully go for a short kickoff and get the ball back. The ball should be coming closest to us, so they're kicking it to their right-hand side. And it goes short. It's a good kick there. They go through and try and block for him. Faifaloa takes it, though. And perfect. That's exactly what we thought it was. Their centre has moved. Opachik has moved, blocked the path of one of the Jets players, stopped him from getting a chance to get the ball, and the referee, thankfully, has seen that, given the penalty to the Jets. And again, a big letter for the boys. Hopefully they get down the other end and get some more points on this scoreboard. 10-2 is very unlike an Ipswich Jets scoreline, but we'll see what happens. Gubby's going to take the tap off the restart. He gets the boys out to the 40 on tackle 1. Timo puts his hand up. Great carry there by Timo. An easy 15 metres for the big fella. And gets the Jets into Townsville territory. Quick play the ball there by Nat. Kieran Mosley decides to jump out of the thing. Cleland throws an out ball to Benny White. He beats up a check, throws a flick pass. Unfortunately, Khalif Faifaloa hadn't come in yet. Goes back to Cleland. He shifts the ball left. Good catch there by Julian. He's dropping runners under. They chase out to him. He's still dropping runners under. He's stepping. The same defender misses him for a third time as he hits the ground. Looking for another quick play of the ball. It goes to Cleland. He throws it wide to Kieran Mosley. Throws a great ball to Richie Pandia there. But he's held up only 5 metres out on fit tackle. The Jets looking for a grubber. Goes to Cleland. He runs that grubber through. It gets ricocheted through. Carlin's not jumping on it. The Blackhawks aren't jumping on it. But I believe they end up kicking the ball dead. They have. And it's going to be a repeat set for the Savage Pest Control Ipswich Jets. As we can see, Tyson Lofapo on the bench, waiting to come back on the field. Talking to Wade Glass, a.k.a. Doggy, one of the best trainers in rugby league as a sport. Other big mentions to Tyson Ma, who's making his debut today as a trainer, and he's looking really fresh out there. He's fit, and he's doing great work. As Timo gets us back within 30. They go to Rory Humphries on the right-hand side. He's looked dangerous so far, and he bumps away from a tackle again. They've got options left and right. I think it's going to Mitch Carpenter. No, they're going Cleland on the right. He's skipping himself. He's going to dumb in go. He gives it to Benny White. Benny White just taken just a metre short of the line. A good tackle by Opachek. Otherwise, he was over. Cleland throws the ball across. Once again, it goes to Jugs. Jugs dances. Still dancing. Looking for someone to come under. He runs all the way across the field. 50 metres sideways. 5 metres gain, but it seems to work for the boys. As they settle on with Mitch Carpenter dropping under. No, he's not. He's coming back this way. He's looking for runners now. He throws an out ball to Timo. Timo's running. Timo's strong enough to power his way over from there. He tries an offload though, and unfortunately hits the ground, and 5-5 lower picks it up. Unfortunate there, because it did look like the Jets were starting to build. Hopefully though, that attacking time down there has tired out the Townsville boys and gives our Jets forwards at least a bit of a rest. As Opacek is wrapped up, 35 out from his own line. Here's Kieran Quabber again. On fifth tackle, we're going to see Laybutt put up a huge bomb straight down the middle of the field. Testing tricky now, but he makes no mistakes with that one. He runs the ball back out and gets the Ipswich Jets set started only 30 metres out from his own line, as we see Tyson Lofapo on now. Mitch Carpenter having a well-earned rest after playing the last 40 minutes straight. Rory Humphrey straight to the middle again. Rory's looking really dangerous when he goes in behind those tired markers and just runs as fast as he can. Nat puts his hand up for a carry. He goes through the middle. He's held up there. That'll be tackle 4. He's still going. Gets us within 25 of the line. That'll be tackle 4. 25 out. It goes to Tyson. Tyson right foot step. Marketo's got him. And as I said earlier, I've been surprised. I thought the Blackhawks would really be using their second rowers, but they haven't done too much yet. As it goes to Cleveland on tackle 5, he throws the ball to Benny White, who's very close to the line, looking to get that offload away, but he's been wrapped up. Now, that's not the worst end to a set either. Pitting a team down 1 metre off their line in the corner. Got to be happy with that. The Jets need to aim up in defence here and really get off their line. As they work back the Townsville Blackhawks winger. Townsville just made 2 subs. I can see 2 of their boys have come off. Carlin Anderson's one of them. As Josh Hoffman, the former New Zealand Kiwi, as well as Parramatta Eel star, Broncos, Titans, he's been around, has gone on, he's been moved to fullback. Comes back to the middle of the field. This is still only tackle 2 or 3 for the Blackhawks, and they find themselves 40 out from their own line. Another offload, the 3rd for this play. Hoffman almost goes straight through the middle. The jump from dummy half. Gilbert. Another 15 minutes to add to his tally. They leave a player on the ground. It's coming left. That's Tom Hancock with another offload. At the moment, the offloads are coming at will for the Blackhawks. They go to the right. There's a bit of a break in the Jets line there. As Murray Talangi goes straight through, he gets it tricky. And the Blackhawks have gone over on the right-hand side through, I believe, which is number 4, Dejan Arce. And that just came from the Jets looking a bit too tired, a few offloads. We saw one of the Jets jump out of the line. As soon as that happened, Townsville have gone straight at it. They've found a man running straight and hard out wide. He's gone between, I believe, our centre and our winger, and there wasn't too much, unfortunately, Jaden Connors could do when you get a man of that size and meet off the line charging at full pelt. He did have a little help from Rogan Dean late. Unfortunately, though, for the Jets, Townsville, the first team to score a try in the second half, means it's 10-6, kick to come, and Khalifa 5-5 lower. No, sorry, we're going to have Murray Tuolangi attempt this kick at goal now that Carlin Anderson has found himself on the bench. 19 minutes to go here. The Jets will lead after this play. It'll just depend whether it's 4 or 2, depending on how well Murray Tuolangi can kick this football. He sets up for the kick, right on the touchline here. He's taken a long time to kick this ball. It's close. It's very close. It's gone straight over. It looked a little bit short on the legs, but it got there in the end. And the Jets now only lead the Blackhawks 10-8. Now, Keenan Yorson has just come on to replace Shah Walden. I believe Keenan's going to the left edge, left centre position. Keenan's come across the Jets this year. He played a handful of games for East Tigers last year. And coach Kieran Lander, Bisho, and a couple of other boys have big raps on him. So we'll see what he can do for this remaining 18 minutes of the game. As Tricky sets up the kick, it's going to be another short one. It's bouncing on the ground. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And it's a perfect kick. It's a perfect kick there by the Ipswich Jets. Only crossed the 40-metre line with about a metre to go before the sideline. Garvey did exactly what he needed to do, which was block the Townsville defenders from having an opportunity to let the ball run into touch. Jets will start this set 35 out from the Townsville line. And I do believe that the Jets will need to score at least some other, I'm assuming another try. At the very least, a penalty goal if they're going to win this one. I do not believe the final score is going to be 10-8. As it comes away from the scrum to Benny White, goes across field, makes his way past the 30-metre line. Keenan has his first hit up for the Ipswich Jets there. It's a nice one, taking the boys within 20 of the line. Ball comes right. Tyson showing off his strength, carrying a few defenders within 10 metres of the line here. They look short to the left. They go that way. Julian's dancing, he dummies himself. Wrapped up only 1 metre short of the line. Goes to Cleland and bounces to him first. He drops Timo off. Timo charges back to the middle. Almost had the ball stolen from him. The ball has come loose. What's the referee called here? He's called a Townsville knock on. So that was a one-on-one strip. Oh, and then they get a penalty off it. I believe the Townsville boys had a bit to say about that one, and they've been penalised for dissent. The Jets are tossing up whether to go for the 2 or continue attacking, but I believe they're going to tap and go here. As I said earlier, Shah Walden's come off. Keenan Yorson's replaced him. It looks like Shah's hurt his ribs. As the ball comes out to the right to Rory, who throws away Feeney. But Feeney comes in and gets him on the second time. Chudley underneath, who so far has played all 65 of these minutes and done a lot of work. Very impressive player, Josh Chudley. Tricky goes through the middle. Tries to strength his way over, but that's not, unfortunately, Jaden Connors' game. He's held 1 metre out from the line. Kieran, left. Christian, short ball to Nat. Nat tries to run himself straight over the top off the smaller Kyle Labour there. Has no luck. Shift back right. Goes to Mosley. On to Cleland. Cleland out the back to Tricky. Tricky runs a grubber through for Gubby. Gubby's coming through. Gubby's right there, but it's thrown dead by Khalif Fife lower. A nice little kick there. Great chase by Peter Gubb. And we'll take 6 more tackles on the Townsville line as they slowly get set for this dropout. 14 minutes to go. The Savage Pest Control Ipswich Jets lead the Townsville Blackhawks 10-8. And as Jacko alluded to earlier, there's only 1 point differential between these two teams. So we are very close. We've only had 5 years of playing each other. And thankfully, we've got the one major win, which was the 2015 Intrust Super Cup Premiership. And I'm sure we'll never let the Townsville Blackhawks forget that. Oh. As Timo gets penalised for playing the ball without his feet, which is a penalty you see once a year, and that's it. But the referees decide to pull it out tonight. Means the Jets' attacking set now becomes a defensive set inside their own 50. Fifo lower taps the ball. Goes out the back. Sione Lousey's back on from the bench. And he gets Townsville within 35 metres off the Jets' line. Played back. Ooh. Back-to-back penalties against the Jets. Both very questionable penalties, but as we saw before, you can't argue with the referees or else you're just going to get penalised more. They're calling for 2 from the sideline. Got the coach's box next to me, and he's definitely signalled for 2, and that's what Blackhawks have decided to go with. So from 35 out, the Blackhawks will try and take the two to level things up here with 13 minutes to go. Again, it's going to be Murray Tuolangi. As you saw before, the man can kick. He nailed it from the sideline. Trying to edge the Blackhawks back to on par against the Jets here. 35 out straight in front. After, I believe, Tyson Lofapol was penalised for slowing down the play. From what I saw, it looked like their boots got tangled up. And that's the only reason he couldn't let Sione Lousy play the ball. But we've got to move on, regroup. And as we said, still 12 minutes to go here as the Jets lead 10-8. He moves in. Looks pretty straight. It looks out to the left. Great. Goes out to the left. It goes dead in goal, which means it's going to be a Ipswich Jets dropout from the 20-metre line, though. So if you kick the, so if it's a penalty goal, you miss it and it goes dead, the other team will then drop the ball out from 20 metres out from their own line. I'm thinking in this case the Jets might go long because they can pin the Blackhawks in their own half. That's what Jaden Connors does. Kicks the ball down. Bounces a few times. Feeney gets the ball to big Sione Lousy, the ex-New Zealand Warrior, who's wrapped up once again by Tyson. And Richie Penny underneath. Joe Boyce moves the play within 40 metres of the Jets line there with a great carry. There we go, right. Laybut drops under Josh Hoffman, who continues running. Sorry, that was Murray Tuolangi, the man that missed the kick just moments ago, with a great run, 15 metres cutting back through the Ipswich Jets middle. Tom Gilbert plays out the back to Feeney. Feeney dropping under Tom Opachik. He works back to the middle, but it's tackled down low by Richie Pandia. Quick play the ball with Pandy still on the ground. Julian Christensen seems to be on the ground in the back as well. Marchetto. Jake Marchetto is gone over. With they've jumped out from dummy half, dropped him under, and unfortunately the boys weren't quick enough to get off the line. Marchetto's found his way over the line. And it's going to make it 12-10 with the kick to come. As we see in the background, I'm yet to make out who that is for the Ipswich Jets, but they seem to be in a lot of discomfort, only 10 metres out from the line. We see Dean Arbuthnot working on him over there. Hopefully it's only cramp. I believe that's Julian Christian. But he is down in a bit of pain as the Blackhawks come in to take this kick. The time of the try was probably 10:40. I'm sure by the time young Murray Tuolangi kicks this ball, or we at least kick off, it'll be well into the 8-minute mark by then. He seems to be able to drag these kicks out for a very long time. I'm sure the crowd will soon let the ref know just how long he's allowed to have this kick. I'm sure, and I can guarantee if I wasn't commentating, I'll be letting him know right now as well. He's already eaten about 35 seconds, 40 seconds off the clock, which when the Jets are down, it's what we're going to need. As Mitch Carpenter seems, or looks to come back in to finish off this game with the last 8.5 minutes. Referee's yet to call time off. Time is still ticking away here as we approach 9 minutes to go. He finally calls it off. 50 seconds late, although the clock has just stopped there. 1 minute of the game gone. So he could set up his kick, but I'm sure we'd be doing the exact same thing if we were in their situation. As he comes in to kick the ball. And he's shanked it to the left. And it's going to mean that the Jets are only 12-10 down with 9 to go. That's a big, big play. A massive kick or miss kick in the shape of things here. Meaning if the Jets can get a penalty within, I'd say, 50 metres off the Blackhawks line, they've got a penalty attempt to level it up. The Jets going for another short kickoff. They're 1 from 2 today, 50%. Another short one's bouncing, it's bouncing. It's hit their foot. Unfortunately the Jets have run past the ball. And after Opachek's kicked the ball, he's been able to dive on it. Big let off there. They'll get a few more attempts, but that is a big miss there for the Ipswich Jets. As Marchetto, the try scorer, takes the ball up. Blackhawks back within 40 metres off the Ipswich Jets line. Gilbert charges into the markers. Chudley jumps out for a little run. He finds Boyce pushing up onto his right. He comes back left. This is fit tackle. They don't know it. Tom Gilbert kicks the ball. And it's been dropped by Jaden Connors. Jumped on by Tom Gilbert, which looks very much like a try. We'll see what the referee's called, though. It's called a double knock-on, maybe. Still a bit confused as to what's going on here. From what I saw, his fifth tackle somehow it's found his hand. Found the ball in the hands of Tom Gilbert, the lock. He's grubbed it in. As Tricky's run out, it looked like he'd dropped the ball, and Gilbert's jumped on it. However, they've called a double knock-on. It's a feed to the Blackhawks. They go out to the right. Laybut throws the ball out to Dejan RC. Tries to stand up Keenan Yorston, but that has no luck with that. As Josh Hoffman works his way back to the left-hand side, setting up for something, I'm sure. The ball goes to Laybut, who finds Tom Gilbert, the man who was just robbed of a try. Tackle 2, 10 metres out. The Jets need to hold him out here. Laybut, short ball to Timon Power. He gets through 2-3 tackles. They need to wrap the ball up, and they do. Only centimetres short of the line. 4 or 5 Jets players involved in that. Chudley's looking to see who needs to pass it to, as Timon Power stays down. Much quicker calling time of that time, the referee. And it's another cramp, which is not surprising, given it is only the first game of the regular season. 6 minutes 35 to go here. Jets trail 10-12. Chudley throws the ball out wide, goes to Gilbert. Gilbert takes another carry. Once again, it's Tyson Lofapo, the veteran, showing him what the Intra Super Cup is all about. They go left. Joe Boyce. What's he called here? Joe Boyce has had a run. The ball's fallen out somehow. The Jets have jumped on it. And I think they're calling for a line dropout. So somehow the ball's come out. Luckily, we were the first to jump on it. It's going to mean the Jets going to be dropping out here with 6 minutes to go, trailing by 2. If you go the short kickoff and don't get it, puts a bit of pressure on you, but they do need the ball. So we'll see what happens. As Jaden Connors takes his time. It goes high and straight to the right. They're charging through on it. Cleve Fife lowers there. Benny White's also on it. But the Blackhawks have it. The Blackhawks have it as they move the ball to the centre of the field through their second rower, Jake Marchetto. Richie Pandy is still out there making tackles, and I'm yet to see him go off. He's played the entire game. It's a very impressive effort by Richie. Joe Boyce met front on by Nat Neal, who steals the ball, but there was a number of people in the tackle. I'll check next door to see what the Blackhawks want to do. They've called for 2, and they're going for 2 to try and put it within out to 4-point lead. Make it 14-10. While they're doing this, they're still eating time away from the clock. I think the Blackhawks have overruled their trainer here. They're still talking about it. What they're doing is wasting time, and it's a smart move by a very experienced team. But just that alone, that pretending to talk about what we want to do, shaves 15, 20 seconds off the clock. Once again, 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go here. We'll be well into the 3-minute mark before the Jets get to kick the ball off. Unfortunately, so far, the Jets, I don't know, they've been very willing. Unfortunately, when they were down there and had a few back-to-back sets, they couldn't turn that into points. Have a couple penalties go against them. And it looks like the try to Jake Marchetto, dropping under, close to the line, might be the difference here today. As now they replace Murray Tuolunga as the kicker. Kyle Laybut comes in. Makes no mistakes about it this time. Moving the Townsville Blackhawks out to 14. The Savage Pest Control Ipswich Jets trail by 4. It is 14-10 here over at the North Ipswich Reserve. Under 4 to play. It's been an exciting game. Low scoring, but very exciting. as we move into the last few minutes of the game. Once again, we're going to be looking for that short kickoff. Unlucky not to get it back last time. You see Blake Lenahan walking up the sideline. He's looking for a break in play so he can get himself back out in the field. Do what he can to get Ipswich the win tonight. They go short. It's bouncing. Need a high bounce there. That's what they get. They fight for it. Cleef far lower recovers it though. And Benny White does his best job to try and strip it one-on-one. Unfortunately, no luck though. Three in the tackle there. Held up. The game now for the Blackhawks is clock management, trying to slow the ball down, slow everything they do down. As Cleef far lower does a great run across field. He looks for runners, comes back to the middle. He's been good for him tonight. Been very good for him. A lot of runs. He's been cleaning up the short kickoffs, the short dropouts. He's had a game, and that's what you expect from a player of his calibre. He's played so much football at the high level. 2 minutes 30 to go. Chudley goes for a little scoot himself. They're in attacking territory again. It's fit tackle. And the referee's going to give a penalty away here as well. That's fit tackle. 10 metres out from the line. They give a penalty away. And for the fourth time tonight, the Blackhawks are going to attempt a penalty goal. They've missed the one, converted two of them. This will make it a 16-10 lead. 2 minutes to go. Only one set after this. There'll only be one set after they kick this, and the Jets will have a chance to get the ball back. If they don't, that's all she wrote today at North Ipswich Reserve. Once again, Kyle Labert setting up for the kick. A very similar spot from where he knocked the last one over. A little bit tougher this time. And he kicks that one as well. Townsville move out to a 6-point lead with 1 minute 20 seconds to go on the clock. 16-10 to the Townsville Blackhawks at the moment. Unfortunately, if the Jets don't receive the ball back of this kickoff, they might only get one, if that, plays with the ball in their hand. So our fingers need to be crossed for this. He sets up. Under 1 minute to go now. It's bouncing on the ground. They're getting through on it. It's been touched by Mitch Carpenter. Unfortunately, the ball's then gone out. It's going to be a scrum, head and feed to the Townsville Blackhawks with 40 seconds to go in the game. Jets need to pack the scrum, try and stop the clock. They finally do. The referee's not calling time though. He's just letting them play, which does not seem to be working as time continues to tick away here. The Jets going to be pushing in the scrum, I'm sure. The ball goes out. Ken finds Mike close to man of the match, apart from Josh Chudley actually, with Cleef 5 lower. 10 seconds to go. As they take a carry through the middle. He's wrapped up by a number of Jets defenders there. And Opacek decides to dive with the ball here as the hooter sounds in the background. That's all she wrote, unfortunately, today at North Ipswich Reserve. And you can see just how happy Townsville are getting that win. It was a tough win between two great sides, and unfortunately it hasn't gone the home side's way today. So, as I said, unfortunately, the Savage Pest Control Ipswich Jets have gone down tonight in what many would describe a good football game. Unfortunately, the boys couldn't, I guess, get those last few points that we needed. As I said, at 10-8, I knew it was going to finish at that point. I felt the Jets maybe needed to score a few more points, whether that was a penalty or a try, and the Townsville Blackhawks end up kicking 3 penalty conversions after that to give them the 16-10. Oh, sorry, Marchetto scored, and they kicked a few penalty conversions, give them the 16-10 win today. Moving forward, I think the Jets have a lot of positives to look at, to take away from this game today. To be honest, defensively they were very strong. They only had 2 laps in defence. It cost them 2 tries. Attacking-wise, they can be happy. First game, there's obviously going to be many errors from both sides. That fluidity and I guess the combinations are going to come, and that's when the Jets are going to get them. Jets maybe are a better team during the hot as well, when the other teams are getting a little bit more tired. And as we saw, we get those quick play the balls, the Jets can jump out of dummy half and really put some pressure on. Unfortunately, the Townsville Blackhawks knew what they were doing. They slowed the play the ball down, gave away a lot of penalties close to the line. We're lucky not to have a man sent to the bin, and on the back of that, the Jets had to settle for 2 points instead of 6, and in the end, it was a 6-point loss. Now, moving forward, obviously with the coronavirus and with a lot of different sporting events and social events being shut down, with fears regarding this very, very serious disease that's currently moving around, we're not sure what's going to be going along with the Jets. There's some talk, both in the NRL and the in-trust level, that games will continue but be played in front of, I guess, empty stadiums, no fans there. We don't know what's going on at the moment. As soon as the Ipswich Jets and the QRL do know what is being put in place, we'll make sure we get it out to the masses, whether that's through Facebook, Instagram, or in the media somehow. But please keep up to date. We look forward to catching up with you in, I believe, 4 weeks when the Jets are back at home hosting another team. The next few weeks we've got Central away, or Capras. We've got Mackay away, and hopefully we can come to round 4 back at home and be 2 wins, 1 loss. And I'm sure they'll be very happy with that. But again, unfortunate today. Congratulations to Tyler Coburn, Keenan Yorston, and Coach Kieran Lander for all debuting in the Intrust Super Cup today in some form or another. Otherwise, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you to USQ, all our sponsors. We'll catch you next time over here at the North Ipswich Oval.